Video is mainly for Australia, but I am broadcasting it internationally because you need to know what is going on here, especially in the last 2 days. There has been an independent inquiry into the handling of COVID, and I'm going to show you the results of that. Now, the point of this video, though, specifically, is that people like me and the protesters who left their house to stand up for human rights deserve not only a public apology and vindication, but all COVID-related fines and COVID-related criminal proceedings need to end now. I know thousands of people in Australia that are still in and out of the courts fighting these ridiculous COVID fines and other criminal crimes. I was put in prison for 22 days simply for publishing a post about a protest. So once I tell you the findings of this independent inquiry, then I think you will agree that everything needs to end. And we need to start mending the divide, the damage that has been done by our politicians and by those that we pay wages to serve us, people like police, magistrates, and our parliamentary figures. They need to start mending the divide and doing the right thing. All COVID-related crime proceedings and fine proceedings need to be immediately abolished and vacated immediately. So we have a petition, and I've put it into the link of this description. You can only sign it if you are within Australia. And the point of this petition is that we will be able to use these numbers to lobby Parliament, but also people who still are fighting the COVID-related fines will be able to print this out and bring it in with them and say enough is enough. Because, look, my name is Monica Smith from Australia, from Victoria. We had over 240 days of lockdowns here in Victoria. Now, we were shot at with rubber bullets. We were shot at with tear gas, with pepper spray. People were arrested. People were forcibly dragged out of their cars. People have been in and out of the court system for the first time in their lives ever because they're law-abiding citizens until now. And I tell you what, any one of you that still has a fine left in court, we are done justifying why we left our house. We are done justifying why we fought for human rights. We are done justifying why we fought to keep children in schools and why we fought to keep outdoor playgrounds open when Daniel Andrews closed it. I am finished justifying why I left the house without a piece of cloth over my face, or why I was 5 kilometers out of my home. I am done justifying it, and we all are, because us protesters, it's not about being right. It's not about being, oh, I told you so. It's not about that. It's that what we were fighting for is exactly what you are now saying you knew the whole time. And to be honest, it's embarrassing because we've been talking about it for 2.5 years. And now all of a sudden you think that this is a grand revelation that this independent inquiry has found this out. It's not. If you had just listened to us when we tried to explain it to you, and we did, we had meetings with police, we had meetings with members of parliament. We tried 2.5 years ago to tell you that this is going to have some serious repercussions on mental health, on children especially, businesses and everything. We tried to tell you that. So the heading of the article is Australia's huge COVID lies finally exposed. We knew 2.5 years ago, but that's fine. So the lies have been exposed. Lockdowns were wrong, school closures were wrong, border closures were wrong, and poor people were hurt the most. Of course. This has been done by Peter Shergold, who's previously the most senior public servant in the country and now Western Sydney University Chancellor. The findings are unequivocal. They are damning and they are almost word for word exactly what I and a few other brave souls have been saying from the very beginning of the pandemic. Now, this journalist is a mainstream media journalist, so I'm not sure if he's really been beating the drum of the truth for the entire time like the protesters were, but anyway, I'm not sure. The mass shutdown of schools on the basis of no evidence whatsoever. Yes, we asked for that evidence too, and we never got it. Yep, we know. In regards to lockdowns and border closures and other restrictions, it found that they effectively were inhumane. Yes, that's why we were protesting. And yet anyone who disagreed with them were hounded with such ferocity, So what are the consequences for those who caused so much harm and fueled the economic and social crisis we are now facing, while savagely attacking anyone who questioned them? It is time for us to start mending the divide. It is time for the people whose wages we pay, the police, the magistrates. It's time for us to start forgiving each other. It's time for us to not let the government dictate how we feel about each other. Families have been divided. Homes have been broken apart. Children are going through so much mental disorder at the moment. And it is time for us to recognize that it wasn't our fault. But we were impacted by the government's decisions. So how about we start being Australian again and we start uniting again, because we all want the same thing. We just want to live our lives and we want our children to live their lives too. So let's move on from this. Let's mend the divide and let's be Australians again. There is still time to make up for this. And if we can abolish all COVID-related fines, it will be the first step to us everyday Aussies trusting the justice system, the police system, and the government system again. There is still time to heal. And I want to start that now. So sign the petition, guys. Let's get rid of these COVID fines. Let's get refunds for the COVID fines that have already been paid. And let's get compensation for those who have been absolutely damaged by everything that has happened. And we will move on from this, because I love Australia and I believe in Australians all the way. So we're going to get through this. Thank you guys. Bye.